It's that time again, getting ready for another crypto talk. Pierre, you finally caught it at the beginning, huh? Good morning, Mary. Good morning, everybody. You guys getting ready for Christmas vacation, huh? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's right, Pam. Bank of America. We're going to get started in just another minute. Give people a chance to hop on. Early morning crypto talk. Today is Thursday. 1 day left for the week. And then we're on our march to Christmas and then New Year's. For many of you in the Bitcoin world, this is the best Christmas that you've had in a long time. But I tell you this, 2018 Christmas is going to be epic. I know personally I'm going to go all out for my family. I got to figure out, where do we want to go? We're not going to be home. We're going to go somewhere. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. We have a couple of topics that we're going to talk about. The main one, of course, is an article about Bank of America, what they've been doing behind the scenes quietly for years. You guys might have just now started hearing about Bitcoin. They've been preparing for it for years. It's almost like a double-edged sword for them. At the same time they're preparing for it, they're also trying to shut people down with it. But before we get into Bank of America, there's a couple of other articles here that I want to touch upon. One about Wall Street. Wall Street is set to pay bonuses in Bitcoin. You know, this is following up from yesterday when I talked about that in 2018, you're going to start to see companies accepting payments of their product and services in Bitcoin. And you're going to start seeing them offer the option of paying their commissions and salaries in Bitcoin. And that already started to happen in Japan. It's already happening. Now we've got Wall Street wants to pay bonuses in Bitcoin. Now, when we say Wall Street bonuses, this ain't like your typical 1 or 2% bonus every year if you're lucky to get that on your job. This is Wall Street bonuses. Their bonuses buys those people yachts, planes, a second house in the Hamptons. That's the Wall Street bonus type. So now they're looking at doing it in Bitcoin. So let's read this article here. While some believe Bitcoin is a 21st century tulip bubble destined to crash, many other firms and institutional investors on Wall Street are busy looking for ways of integrating Bitcoin and altcoins into their operations, which is smart. At press time, the world's #1 cryptocurrency is worth well over $16,000. According to CoinMarketCap, the Bitcoin market capitalization currently stands at $282 billion. What is it? I have not checked this morning. Let me take a look. Just dropped my son off at school. So let's see, what is the Bitcoin price at right now? 16,500 with a $276 billion market cap. Total market capitalization is over $500 billion. We're going to talk about that at the end. For those of you that think you might have gotten in too late on the Bitcoin craze. So, with Bitcoin's value raging bullish and altcoins like Ethereum, Monero, and a handful of others doing well in their right, Wall Street can't seem to ignore the crypto revolution and has hinted at paying some employees bonuses in digital currency. Bob Graham, a cryptocurrency juggernaut currently plying his trade at Friedman, an accounting and advisory firm, has said organizations who pay employees bonuses in Bitcoin stand the chance of attracting highly talented workers. He explained that, "We've certainly gotten a lot of inquiries from hedge funds and other asset managers looking to understand cryptocurrency a little better, as they contemplate whether or not this is a good time to enter the marketplace. The ever-rising value of the digital store of value, along with a series of Bitcoin futures launches by a handful of exchanges, has succeeded in triggering the interest of the New York-based finance sector. Since last week, top officials of the finance services giants have not stopped talking about the prospect of getting their conventional bonuses paid in crypto instead of fiat. In the same piece by the New York Post, Aaron Kaplan, a securities attorney at Gooseray Kaplan Newsbaum, said partners in some venture firms, as part of their packages, are already accepting virtual tokens tied to initial coin offerings now that the rising value of cryptocurrencies has been demonstrated. Oh, wait a second. It has been demonstrated for the past 9 years. What are you talking about now that it has been demonstrated? What, it had to go up 10,000% for you to pay attention to it? These guys are funny. No, the official further reiterated that the Wall Street Bitcoin bonus is a possibility. Despite comments from major banks and hedge funds, the finance sector has still been lured into the same cryptomania their clients have asked about. Graham continued to outline the ambiance he faced on a daily basis by saying that we've certainly gotten a lot of inquiries from hedge funds and other asset managers looking to understand cryptocurrency a little better, as they contemplate whether or not this is a good time to enter the marketplace. Not only that, but after Bitcoin's futures were launched at CBOE on December 10th, the stability of the cryptocurrency endorsed its capacity as a commodity that people, including the institutions, will be able to participate in. You know, that's only going to go up on the 18th, next week when the CME goes live. So be prepared for that. And while I was talking, a new article popped up here. It says, despite regulation, Russians plan to build Europe's largest mining farms. I'll save that for tonight. That'll be for late night crypto. All right, let me get to another article here. Don't want to talk about the hater. Well, I will talk about Litecoin for a second. Litecoin and Ethereum have been on a tear. And remember I said earlier that the current market cap is at $500 billion. By next year, I don't know whether it's going to take all the way to the end of 2018 or if it happens in 6 months. But we're going to add another $500 billion where the entire crypto market will be a $1 trillion market cap. That's still only a very, very small percentage of the total world's, tradable money. A small percentage. But we're talking about double what we're currently at right now. Double. Now, Bitcoin will take 50% of that. But we're talking about another $500 billion is going to be dropped in the altcoins. So for those of you who think you might have missed your shot at Bitcoin because it's so expensive now, where you hear stories of people 3, 4, 5 years ago that put thousands of dollars in and got 20, 50, 100, 200 Bitcoins when it was cheap. You can still do that now with the altcoins. Ethereum is worth $685. For over a year, it hovered right around that $300 mark. It means $250 to $300. Bitcoin Cash is now up 1,800. Oh, it's on a run today. Oh, look at Ripple. Ripple is at 70 cents. It's up 52%. What the heck is going on? Where's my account? I need to buy me some Ripple. Let me log into my Poloniex. Ripple is on a tear. I did not look at the markets this morning. 52%. See, just yesterday, it was at around 40 cents. How many Ripple do you think you could have bought for 40 cents? I want to think about that. What if you put $2,000 on that? And then all of a sudden you wake up today and it's up 52%. You just made $1,000. So that's Ripple as an example. Then you got Litecoin. It's $286. You got IOTA, which is $3.94, which is high, especially since they've got how many coins they have on the market, 2.7 billion. But IOTA made a pact with partnership with Microsoft. That's why they shot up in price. You got Dash at 887, Bitcoin Gold at 307. I'm still skeptical about that, but Bitcoin Cash stayed around that $300 mark for a long time. Now look at it. You got Monero at 308. You got EOS at $8. You got Cardano, which is up 24% at 17 cents. So there are still a lot of altcoins that you can purchase a lot. I am going to buy a gang of Ripple. I don't know why I didn't do this in the past, but I will do that today. And I should have did it yesterday. You know, I'm like when it was 40 cents. But this is a modern day gold rush, ladies and gentlemen. You are not left behind. You're going to become millionaires just off of the altcoins. You don't have to worry about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to do its thing. But while it does its thing, it's going to bring up all these other coins. So you want to make sure you're diversified. You want to make sure you're putting money in this other stuff. I mean, all the way down, even, I'm looking at the top. Look at Tron. What the heck? It is up 78%. Worth a penny. It is. It's worth a penny right now. And it's up 78%. Somebody, I heard a mention, I'm in another group that talked about Tron. And I don't know why they're rising right now. I haven't heard any news as to justify a 78% increase. Something happened for that to happen. Let's see, another one. You got Steam, that's up 11%. It's only $2. So I don't want to hear people say, I can't afford. You know, you want to make sure you get Salt. Salt is at $8 right now, and it's up 4%. So these are things that you guys can afford. Don't think that, oh, I'm left out because Bitcoin is so expensive. $500 billion is going to be dumped on these altcoins. People are going to become wealthy off the altcoins. A Ripple millionaire, an IOTA millionaire, a BitConnect millionaire, a Neo millionaire. All right, so let me go back to my point. Let me see that article. Oh, Crypto Kitties. Oh yeah, that's going to be another article talking about Crypto Kitties. But let's see here. Oh yeah, and Mike Novogratz. Mike Novogratz put $500 million of his own money into crypto. That's how much he believes in it. I don't know if I'll read this whole article, but I will put the link here. That's right, Alfred. No more excuses for Americans. There is absolutely I'll say this. There is no reason, no matter where you are, who you are, how much money you have, what you do for a living, that 1 year from now, you should be in the same place you are right now. There should be no way possible if you're involved in crypto. If 1 year from now, you're in the same exact situation you are today, you wholeheartedly did something terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. No way. It's impossible. $500 billion is about to be dumped on this. It's like sprinkling money on you. You could dance in it, something's going to stick to you. All right, so here's Mike Novogratz. This is the first time you've heard him really be a little bit bearish. Sell it here, Mike Novogratz, bearish after Litecoin price surge. What is Litecoin at right now? Litecoin, oh, well, he was right because that article was yesterday. Litecoin is at $286, is down 9%. So, yeah, I mean, it's gonna taper off and it'll go back up even more. But if you wanted to make a nice profit, yeah, you sell a little bit of it, made a nice profit. So what does Mike have to say? I respect what he has to say. Legendary trader and prominent Bitcoin bull Mike Novogratz said, that he does not believe that the Litecoin price will sustain its dramatic early week rally, and he would sell it here. Speaking with CNBC, Novogratz, the founder of crypto hedge fund Galaxy Investment Partners, stated that although he believes Bitcoin represents a buying opportunity for investors even after its fourth quarter rally, he does not think that Litecoin offers the same upside. I don't think the Litecoin rally has the same legs as Bitcoin, he said. I'd sell it here and buy Bitcoin. I don't know about all that. I wouldn't sell any of it. Hold it. You know, make sure you've got an account set up or a side, a budget set up that you're putting into altcoins every single week and every single month. And then forget about it. The one thing in this space is never invest money that you can afford to lose. So set up a budget, put your investment in, and then forget about it. Just let it grow. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, Mike might be doing a little bit market manipulation here as well. Because by him saying something like that, you're going to have a bunch of people that sell it. They're going to have people like Ramon that's going to go out and buy it. We want to buy the dip. But you guys see what's going on with Ripple? It's at 70 cents. And Tron coming out of nowhere. 78%. Somebody's making money. Somebody's doing something. All right. Let me go to this one. And this is about safety. I mean, you got to be careful here, guys. You got to be, this isn't MLM where it's cool to brag about what your salary is or how much money you're making a month. It's not MLM. So you run your mouth because you want to flaunt that you're a Bitcoin millionaire and look at me. The reason why people in the MLM industry flaunt like that is because it's enticement. They get people to sign up with them. You don't need anybody to sign up with you to make money in crypto. So you don't need to do that. This is their private bank account. Keep it private. But here's an article that says man allegedly kidnaps friend at gunpoint and steals 1.8 million of cryptocurrency. You're right. EOS is at 24% climb right now. $8. Don't tell me y'all can afford to get maybe 10 EOS. Don't tell me you can't afford to spend some change on this. All of y'all are gonna go see Star Wars, the episode 7. Oh wait, 3, 2, episode 8 tomorrow. I already got my tickets, and I know for a family of 4 plus concession stand, it's like $120 or something. $120. So don't tell people got money. I got $200 EOS, but I ain't bragging. That's right. All right, so let's talk about watch who your friends are. Man kidnaps friend. Did I put that link in the article? Let me put that link here. A man has appeared in a New York court charged with robbing an acquaintance of his cryptocurrency hoard. Luis Meza allegedly had a gunman point a pistol at his friend's head after luring him into a minivan and persuading him to part with his wallet seed. The offense, which is reported to have taken place on November 4th, netted $1.8 million in cryptocurrency. What? This is your boy that did this to you? Technology might be getting smarter, but the same cannot be said of criminals. If the allegations against Luis Meza are proven correct, the 35-year-old committed one of the most brazen and unsophisticated robberies imaginable. Let me put my phone on mute. Everybody wants to hit me up when I'm doing a live. And it's the same people too. Miguel, I'm calling him out. Let me let him know right now. I'm going to put him on blast. Doing a Facebook Live right now. Yeah, I'm calling him out. He always blasted me. All right, so let's see here. Let's go back. So, let me read that again. Technology might be even getting smarter, but the same cannot be said of criminals. If the allegations against Luis Meza are proven correct, the 35-year-old committed one of the most brazen and unsophisticated robberies imaginable. Millions of dollars of ether were stolen after Meza lured his supposed friend into a van and had his accomplice point a pistol at him. Due to the nature of blockchains, police were able to easily follow the flow of stolen ether, which reportedly showed up in the accused account the next day. Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance Jr. stated in court that the case demonstrates the increasingly common intersection between cyber and violent crime. The New York Daily News reports, in reality, it shows nothing of the sort. All the case demonstrates is that violent crooks will do what violent crooks do best. Go for the easiest low-hanging fruit. In this case, it was cryptocurrency. But had the accused assets been in the form of gold, dollars, or Air Jordan sneakers, there's every likelihood they would have befallen a similar fate. What is indisputable, however, is that the sharp rise in value of cryptocurrency this year has turned former friends and acquaintances into targets for the unscrupulous. Cases such as this illustrate the need to keep the extent of one's cryptocurrency portfolio private. Exactly. What may be a modest amount now has the potential to turn into a windfall in the future, leaving individuals vulnerable to theft. The case also illustrates the danger of the $5 wrench attack. What? $5 wrench attack? As recently noted by News Bitcoin. What are they talking about? The notion that even the strongest password in the world is no match for an angry man wielding a gun. Oh, okay. A gun or wrench. After being arraigned at Manhattan Supreme Court, Meza pled not guilty to grand larceny, kidnapping, and robbery. How you get caught, you're gonna oh, I'm not guilty. On $1 million bond with bail set at $500,000 cash. Manhattan Supreme Court does not accept cryptocurrency. You know, I'm curious. I've seen cases like this, but they never say, did the victims ever get their money back? Have you guys heard anything about that? Did the victims get their money back? No, I haven't heard about that. Like that dude in Russia who got kidnapped, and he was bragging. He posted a picture of this multi-million-dollar house with like 8 six-figure cars in front, and him standing in front of it like, this is my Bitcoin lifestyle. So I don't know if he ever got his money back either, because once it's gone in the crypto space, I mean, what are the police going to do? Can they force somebody? Okay, you need to return this money. All they do is lock you up. So that's curious. I'm going to keep an eye out on that one. Let's see. Do I want to do one more article before I go into Bank of America? Yeah. So on that, no, I don't want to talk about Ethereum. So we talk about Ethereum and the altcoins, because Ethereum is even Ethereum Classic. Let me look at what Ethereum Classic's at right now. Yeah, they're number 13. They're at $30 right now. They're down a little bit, but you never know what's going to happen to Ethereum Classic in the future, just like Bitcoin Cash. $1,800 a coin for Bitcoin Cash? Shoot. Even Bitcoin Gold is up 10%. So what's going on with Ethereum? Let me put this link here. Ethereum price achieves all-time high at $752, up 20% in 24 hours. The Ethereum price has surpassed $752 for the first time in history, recording a staggering 20% increase in value over the past 24 hours, led by the U.S. market. Also, the U.S. and think Russia right now. Russia wants to create the largest Ethereum mining farm in the world. For those of you that have been the MLM haters on crypto, especially when you look at USI-Tech, they just reached like the top 10 in mining for Ethereum. You know, Ethereum ain't something to ignore. So throughout the past few days, the U.S. market accounted for nearly 25% of global Ether trades. GDAX, the flagship cryptocurrency exchange of Coinbase and Bitfinex, processed 23% of the global Ethereum exchange market's Ether trades. Currently, the daily trading volume of Ether is close to $5 billion, more than 4 times larger than Bitcoin Cash. The third largest cryptocurrency in the global market behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, what is pushing Ethereum's price up? Earlier this month, billionaire investor Mike Novogratz predicted the price of Ether to increase by threefold throughout 2018. In terms of developer activity and transaction volume, Ethereum remains as the only public blockchain network which can compete against Bitcoin. In fact, as of current, the Ethereum blockchain network processes more transactions than all of the cryptocurrencies in the market, including Bitcoin, combined. You guys hear that? At 820,000 transactions per day. Here's what, when you look at long term, people think that long term, Ethereum is going to outperform and be more valuable than Bitcoin long term. Right now, even though the technology is there for it, it's just right now everybody knows about Bitcoin, and that's the granddaddy. You know, the average person on the street don't know what Ethereum is, but they hear about Bitcoin and they want to buy Bitcoin. But as the people become more educated, you're going to start to see a shift. I'm making sure I'm going to, let me not talk about what I got, but you might want to pay attention to Ethereum. In fact, as of current, I read that part, decentralized applications such as CryptoKitties. What the hell is CryptoKitties? And I got like 3 articles. I just have not had the time to read it. I got here, what CryptoKitties reveals about Ethereum scalability issues. I'll save that for later. But it says decentralized applications such as CryptoKitties and EtherDelta have also demonstrated the potential of Ethereum as the base protocol for decentralized exchanges and digital asset trading platforms, which is an application that is useful beyond finance. As A16Z partner and Earn.com CEO Balaji stated, why is CryptoKitties actually important? It's one of the first examples of what people have been talking about for years. Frictionless international trading of digital assets, not just cash, on a blockchain. That's important right there. It's a very important statement. Already, CryptoKitties has processed $15 million worth of digital kittens within the past 2 months, and other dApps like EtherDelta have also been processing more than 80,000 transactions on a daily basis. Vitalik Buterin not convinced. Sharing a similar sentiment as Litecoin creator and former Coinbase executive Charlie Lee, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik questioned whether the $500 billion market value of cryptocurrencies can be justified. Buterin stated, so total crypto coin market cap just hit $500 billion today. But have we earned it? How many unbanked people have we banked? How much censorship-resistant commerce for the common people have we enabled? How many decentralized applications have we created that have substantial usage? Low added value per user for using a blockchain is fine, but then you have to make up for it in volume. How much value is stored in smart contracts that actually do anything interesting? How many Venezuelans have actually been protected by us from hyperinflation? How much actual usage of micropayment channels is there actually in reality? All right, I'm going to have to disagree with Vitalik Buterin here. Now, I'm disagreeing in this. Hold on, I got a guy that's panicking right now. Hold on. doing a live right now. No need to panic. All right. Now, I don't disagree with what Vitalik is stating here, because everything he said is true. However, the price of the cryptocurrency market at $500 billion has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with anything that he said here. This goes, see, he's talking nerd talk. He's talking like an engineer about the use of the technology. What he is not taking into account is a psychology behind people and movements. And if you as a nerd, if you look at the numbers, we're talking about $500 billion is a blip on the radar screen to the global financial market. Every single millionaire in the world cannot own one Bitcoin. So if just 0.5% of the world's population, 1%, if 100 million people jumped into the crypto space, this pushes this to almost a $2 trillion, $3 trillion market. So the value usage that he's talking about does not need to be there, because the demand for people that just want to be involved as an early adopter is there. That's the point. That's what's pushing this thing up, which means that over the next few years, however long it takes for everything Buterin just stated, for the applications and stuff to be mainstream, to take an effect, then it'll catch up. But it's not the dot-com era. Because when you think about the dot-com era, when people were selling their internet idea for $200 million and it didn't do anything, it's just the big companies just wanted it because it was an idea, then that's one thing. But that's not what's going on right here. All right, enough of that article. Let's get to Bank of America. There's a last quote here by Vitalik. He said, in the last 3 years, the crypto market cap has increased by 200 times, but I definitely don't feel like crypto's potential has increased by 200 times. In some key sectors, it has even regressed. Vitalik has said some things over the last couple of months that makes me doubt him. He's a kid as well. So, I'm 50-50 on anything that comes out of his mouth right now. Because I know he has an agenda also. He's proven that. All right, let's get to Bank of America. This is USPTO approves Bank of America's cryptocurrency exchange patent. Copy and paste this. All right. So you can read along with me or just listen. During the first week of December, the second largest bank in the U.S., Bank of America, was awarded a cryptocurrency exchange patent. The BOA cryptocurrency trading platform's concept summary outlines 3 types of accounts where users and businesses can swap digital assets instantly. So, what is Bank of America doing here? Because all of the bankers have been calling Bitcoin a fraud, and Bitcoin is a scam, and it's going to crash, and it's not real money, and all that kind of stuff. But what are they doing behind the scenes? See, on December 5th, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office granted the financial institution Bank of America a patent to build a cryptocurrency exchange. Now understand, this is different. See, they already have like 150 patents on blockchain technology. That blockchain technology they're going to use to create and institute their own cryptocurrency coin, the Fed coin. But this is different here. Here, They want to build their own exchange, like GDAX, like Poloniex, like Bittrex, like Bitfinex, like Cryptarium. You know, all of these exchanges, Bank of America wants to have their own exchange. The patent summary describes 3 types of accounts within the platform system. The first account is for customers to store their digital funds. Man, I'm so worried about that. I would not want Bank of America holding my coins. But this is what they're going to do. You're going to have the ability where they will store their digital funds. And I already know when the advertising comes out, they're going to say the most secure way to store your digital currency. Go with Bank of America. And people will think, yeah, it's secure. I'm going to give you my money, Bank of America. Yeah, how'd that turn out in 2008? We all went through that before. The second and third accounts operated by the business are called float accounts, which allow quick digital asset swaps from behind the scenes, similar to a centralized shapeshift concept. BOA is one of the most active banks filing for blockchain and crypto-related patents over the past few years. Think about this, guys. They've been doing this for years. When Bitcoin was worth like $200, they were doing this. Why? What did they see coming that not even the rest of us saw? They knew this was coming. Last summer, the firm applied for over 20 patents this past August, covering digital asset solutions to public and private blockchain concepts. You know what I'm curious over? How did Bank of America get their patents, but Chase Bank, which is a bigger bank, filed 175 times and failed 175 times? I'm curious about that. How Bank of America got over 20 patents, was able to do it. The digital asset trading platform patent was filed in 2014 during the month of June. How many of you guys own Bitcoin in June of 2014? The first time I even mentioned publicly Bitcoin, because Facebook records everything, was August 1st, 2014. Did I buy any? No. But I was talking about it. The patent, called the Cryptocurrency Transformation System, is explained quite thoroughly within the summary. The system further compromises a processor communicatively coupled to the memory. The processor may receive an electronic request for a currency exchange and determine exchange rates for exchanging a first currency for a second currency, explains the BOA patent. The processor may also determine an optimal exchange rate. Oh, I have a problem with that. What do you mean the processor may determine an optimal exchange rate? That means they can come up with their own exchange rate. They can manipulate it. I have a problem with that. Remember, the bank's goal is not to have decentralized anything. The bank's goal is to control everything. So here's what it says. In response to determining the optimal exchange rate, the processor may determine a first amount of the first currency and associate the first amount with the customer account. The processor may also transfer the first amount of the first currency into the first float account and determine a second amount of the second currency. The processor is further able to associate the second amount with the second float account and transfer the second amount of the second currency to the customer. All right, let me use this in layman's terms, what they're saying. Let's say you've got $500 in your Bank of America account and you want to purchase or change it for a cryptocurrency, let's say Ethereum. And they're going to say, all right, we determine Ethereum is to be worth this amount. So we're now going to transfer your $500 into what we say the amount of Ethereum is worth. And then it's going to be put that amount in your Ethereum account. So you have it's like 1-to-1 in their determination on this. And then the reverse also happens. That you'll be able to transfer, let's say if you've got Ethereum and you want to move it into your bank account, you use their exchange and it transfers what they determine is the right value or dollar amount of your Ethereum back into US dollars. I don't trust them to do that the right way. Because what they have not said is, are they tying this into the global market, the global determination of what the value of each currency is? All this is saying here, they're funny with the language here. They're saying, we determine it. We may determine. You gotta look at the fine print. Now, while BOA captures the most cryptocurrency patents, the company also likes to close customer accounts if they trade Bitcoin. Now, see here what they're doing? See, what they're doing is, if you trade and use Bitcoin outside of our system, we'll shut your account down. That's what they're doing here. So here's what it says. In addition to BOA trying to capture a lot of blockchain and cryptocurrency patents, the company isn't too friendly towards Bitcoin traders. The financial institution has been well known for closing people's bank accounts if they trade Bitcoin. There are many instances. Oh, they got a link here for many instances. All right, let me make sure I look at that. Many instances where BOA closed the customer's account for purchasing cryptocurrencies using applications like Coinbase, which deposits money into checking or savings accounts. This is why, here's one thing. I have never used Coinbase to put money back into my bank account. I rarely ever use Coinbase to even purchase. I don't purchase Bitcoin. I earn Bitcoin. But what happens is when the transaction goes to Bank of America, it shows up that this is a Bitcoin transaction. And BOA is flagging it and shutting stuff down. So in fact, this December, one customer was sent an 8-page document asking about his cryptocurrency usage and was required to fill out the paperwork before his account service was interrupted. Ironically, the latest patent approval for a BOA-controlled cryptocurrency exchange shows the bank favors digital assets, and the institution could very well build the platform in the near future with this awarded patent. Yeah, they will. They'll build it as long as they control it. That's the key right there. As long as they control it. I'm going to read this other account here about Bank of America. It says, Bank of America froze my account for buying crypto. Let me put a link to that here. Bank of America froze my account. Oh, I just got a pop-up saying that net neutrality is staying. I thought that it was already 100% that they were repealing it. So that's just news just popped up on my computer. So let's go back to this article here. Bank of America froze my account for buying crypto. Often, when I talk about the unprecedented potential of cryptocurrency, and more specifically blockchain technology, I speak about the financial freedom it gives you versus the stranglehold that traditional banking has had over most of us since we upgraded from the piggy bank. A life of banker-controlled wealth is all we have ever known. Recently, I had to close my Bank of America account after they froze my funds without any reason given. Unfortunately, banks are still necessary on a daily basis, but if I could go 100% crypto, I certainly would do in a heartbeat. Let me stop right there. You can go 100% without banks. You can. There's a guy I follow named Dr. Roy Murphy. He lives out of the UK. He has been living 100% off of crypto and no banks since July. I'm not saying whether I do or don't. What I will say is that I have the ability to live 100% off the grid, meaning I can buy, I can pay my bills, rent, all that stuff without having to use the banks. All right? So that's what the banks fear. So he says here, there is nothing worse than the fear of not being able to pay your bills because your bank account has been frozen. Follow the stash as I lay out the nasty details, why they really froze my account, and how you can avoid the same mistake. So pay close attention to here. Oh, another article just popped up. Venezuela's fiat currency is declining rapidly and Bitcoin is taking over. Watch what's happening in Venezuela. All right, banking with Bank of America. I had been a B of A customer since 2008 when I first started my web development business, Long Beach Web Design. I chose Bank of America because at the time, they were one of the only banks that offered a business account where if you spent a certain amount of money on your debit card, they would waive the monthly account fee. While I had a few issues with them over the 10 years as a customer, it was never anything so damaging that I needed to leave, although I got close a few times. Ultimately, when they released their mobile banking app, I couldn't be happier, as it meant I did not have to traverse the lines and second-rate customer service I had come to hate at Bank of America. With the mobile app, I could just deposit my business checks from the phone and avoid walking into the bank or ATM altogether. I don't remember the last time I've been inside the bank, come to think of it, because I have Bank of America as well. Money services, monkey business. I run a pretty low-key web development business where I do hosting, build websites, develop e-commerce solutions. This had not changed in the 10 years I was with the Bank of America, but on September 18th, 2017, I received a very curious multi-page document in the mail asking me to return 8 pages of information about my business by October 18th, 2017, to avoid any interruption of service to my business account. The document came from the Money Services Business Department of Bank of America. I had no idea what a money service business was when I got the notice. The first page of the notice stated, during a recent review, we found that some of the activities in your business accounts appeared to be money service business activities. What does that mean? Typical MSB activities include check cashing and issuing or redeeming money orders and or traveler's checks. You can refer to the enclosed form for more detailed definition of an MSB. After reading this and the detailed description of an MSB, I certainly didn't engage in anything that would remotely be considered an MSB. Regardless, the notice was pretty clear that if I did not submit 8 pages of very detailed information on just about every aspect of my business that you can acquire about, they may have to restrict or close accounts that don't have all the required information. And then he puts in here a title of the PDF. So you guys, I got the link in the chat box. You can open up that link and look at the detailed notice. You can download it. So here's what it says. Part 6, virtual currency. This is the most important part. This basically stopped me in my tracks. Part 6. It has, does the business engage in virtual digital cryptocurrency activity? Yes or no? If yes, which of the following describes your virtual currency activity? User. A user is a person that obtains virtual currency to purchase goods or services. Administrator. An administrator is a person engaged as a business in issuing or putting into circulation a virtual currency and who has the authority to redeem, to withdraw from circulation such virtual currency. Or an exchanger. An exchanger is a person engaged as a business in the exchange of virtual currency for real currency, funds, or other virtual currency. What the hell? In comparison to all the other questions and information they were asking, this seemed like a square peg in a round hole. It really didn't fit within the context or even with their own description of what a money service business was. As you can see, even if you are just a user of cryptocurrency, this may qualify you as an MSB. I have only ever made 3 total transfers of fiat to Coinbase from my Bank of America business account. All right, that's intriguing right there. I think there's a difference between if you use your normal account and if you're using your business account. Because if you have a business account, there's different restrictions than if you have a normal account. So I'm learning some new stuff as I read this. The first was in late 2013, my first BTC purchase ever. The second two were both earlier this year for $400 and $1,000 respectively. I have never sent any funds from Coinbase back to my B of A account to cash out, as I like to keep my profits in crypto. The fact that I had done this quite a few years ago and never received this notice, but was now receiving it just a month or two after my second and third fiat conversions, was a telltale sign that there was some fishy business going on. Let me stop there for a second. Here's another reason this was taking place. The IRS started to notice that there's an increasingly number of people being involved in the crypto space. Yet, like in the last 3 years, only 84 people, or was it 800? 84 or 800, I'm getting that number confused. But it was a small amount of people that ever reported on their taxes that they were engaged in Bitcoin. They had a Bitcoin profit. So they go to Coinbase and they win their case on Coinbase and realize there's over 14,000 accounts that they know of from 2013 to 2015 that did transactions of more than $20,000 through Coinbase, but none of them people reported taxes on it. So I would assume, and this is only my assumption, that the IRS is also flagging Bank of America and asking them about any transactions on their business accounts dealing with crypto, and was any taxes reported on this money. So Bank of America does their own thing. Say, yeah, they didn't say nothing the last couple of years, but now they're saying something now. Why now? That's my only 2 cents I want to add into that. I think the IRS has something to do with this as well. He says, turns out I was right. They say, this is a new policy, sir. Reading the rest of the document, I was kind of insulted by the fact that they wanted this massive amount of information from me with the threat of closing my account if I didn't comply by October 18th. I decided to call the provided MSB customer service phone number to see if I could get to the bottom of it. My first interaction was with Diego, who didn't give me a last name or any sort of reference number, even though I asked. He told me all would be recorded on my file for the next person, so there was no issue of our conversation being lost. I told him about the document I received and that I did not engage in any MSB as defined in the very same document. He then proceeded to look up my info and after about 10 minutes finally asked me about my Coinbase purchases. Coinbase purchases, really? He attempted over and over to clarify how and why I was using cryptocurrency, and ultimately I asked him, why does that even matter, as it did not seem to fall in the definition of what an MSB was. Yeah, why is that your business, what I'm doing with cryptocurrency? After quite some back and forth, where he basically could tell me nothing about why any activity in crypto was now considered MSB activity, and I daftly avoided admitting I purchased any crypto, he slipped up. When I asked him about how virtual currency became part of MSB activities, he told me very specifically that this is a new policy, sir. As soon as he said this, we both knew he basically screwed up and was not supposed to leak that information. Instantly, the tension on the phone was palpable, and he quickly tried to backpedal on what he said. I pressed on like a honey badger and asked him when this change occurred and why. If a change was made to my account, why was I not notified of this change? He had no answers for me. How could Bank of America make such a large change to their terms of conditions of my account without my knowledge? Still, no answers. Just restating that B of A needed me to comply. You see that? Comply, comply, comply. That's what the banks want you to do. This is your money, people. This is why Bitcoin is even here. So we don't have to deal with this BS. So I needed to comply and send in all this information. Clearly, this was no small change, as they were threatening to close my account if I did not comply in just 30 days. From this point, he would just repeat the same line as I asked him multiple questions about when, where, why, how, and what this was all about. I said, you know what? Close my account right now. Send me my money. I'm going to another bank if I need to go to a bank at all. I am out of here. That's what I would have done. They did that to me. This is when I asked to speak to his supervisor. I stayed on the phone with him for over an hour, waiting for a supervisor to get back to him. No one ever came to help or talk to me. Ultimately, to get rid of me, he gave me the number to the team manager in the compliance, processing, and monitoring department, saying that she could answer any questions I had. I hung up with Diego and called, and he gave the number and got the voicemail for Lacey. I believe that is her name, as the voicemail message is a bit garbled. I left the voicemail that day with her, but did not hear back before close of business. The next day I called again. Wow, this dude is detailed. He's got the actual. Oh yeah, well, let's listen to this. This is short. Check this out.
Hello, you have reached Team Manager Lacey Blairski with the Compliance, Processing, and Monitoring Department. I am currently unavailable. For a return call, please leave your name, customer ID or account number, telephone number, and a detailed message. For immediate assistance, please contact the Compliance Department at 844-253-3707, and any agent that answers will be able to assist. Thank you for being a valued customer.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, Lisa. This is Shane Newkirk again. This is the fourth message that I've left with you. I've left a couple of messages over the past couple of days. I'm just trying to contact you to resolve this issue that you guys have with my account. I had multiple questions that your representatives didn't have answers to, and so I just wanted to try and resolve this as quickly as possible and comply with your guys' request, but I do need to have some questions answered. So if you could once again please give me a call back.
All right, let's continue. Now, over 8 days into this journey, I still did not get a phone call back. I waited another couple of days, and then I received the second document from Bank of America. Winter is coming early. This is what they said. On October 13, 2017, I received a one-page letter from Bank of America saying, your business accounts listed above have been frozen and will be closed if we don't hear from you within 30 days from the date of this notice. Hold up 1 second. The original thing was said, you need to fill out these documents in 30 days or we'll close your accounts. Now, 13 days later, they say we're freezing your account now unless you fill this stuff out. So he says, I was furious. And then there's the document. It's also attached. Not only did they freeze my account 5 days sooner than they said they would, they made it seem like they had never heard from me. Clearly, the almost 2 hours on the phone with Diego and the 4 voicemails to Lacey in the compliance processing department meant absolutely nothing. At this point, I knew that a phone call was pretty pointless, so I grabbed both documents and headed down to my local branch. Oh, that's not going to work. I know how that happens with the local branch. They say there's nothing we can do. You got to call support. But local branch to get more information to hopefully just close my account. I got to Bank of America, sat down and waited to be helped. A personal banker by the name of Eddie Perez called me over when he finished up with the client he was already with when I walked in. I told him I wanted to close my account and grumbled a bit about how I doubt he could even help me at this point. Of course, he gave me the generic spiel of how he is here to help. My battery's about to die on me. I got some time. Apparently, it says, so I complied and gave him my info to look up. Mistake number 2. Apparently, even if you work at Bank of America, you have to wait on hold to talk to anyone in another division, because I sat there blankly staring at him for almost 20 minutes before he actually talked to another representative on the phone. They went back and forth, then some more waiting for another 20 minutes. He tells me that my account has been frozen and we can't close it. What? So now they put your account on hostage now. It's been frozen, so you can't even close it. I ask him, why was it frozen? He talks more with the person on the other line and waits another 10 minutes or so. After an hour and a half, he finally gets off the phone and tells me that Bank of America made a business decision to close my account. I asked him, what does that even mean? He repeated the same exact phrase. I tried to ask my question in a different way and was met with the same exact response. It was like Diego was standing before me where personal banker Eddie Perez once stood. I told him this was an unacceptable answer, and if they could not give me an actual reason as to why my account was frozen, then I needed to close my account immediately. He made yet another phone call and then ultimately told me that someone was going to call me about it the next day. I left even more furious than I walked in. This could be like a reality show right here. 2 days and a weekend go by, and I head back into the local branch to confront Eddie about not receiving a phone call. This time he was not there, and I ended up with a different associate. Oh, here we go. He went through the same hoops, also having me wait while he was on hold with his own organization. Ultimately, I was told that when Eddie called last week, they actually unfroze my account for 1 day. What? So it could be closed. But because I did not close it in that 1 day window, it was refrozen. I told him that Eddie never mentioned this and that he just told me to expect a phone call. This new guy attempted to get my account unfrozen again. After waiting another 30 or 40 minutes, he tells me that they have to put it in processing, and if I just come back the next day, it should be an unfrozen and I can close my account and get my funds. Here we go. I returned the next day, right when they opened. This time Eddie was back, and I sat down with him and updated him on the situation. I straight out asked him why he lied to me. He didn't have an answer for me. I told him that his own organization was making him a liar. Still, no answer for me. He once again made phone calls while I sat there. This is unbelievable. While I sat there, waiting with steam venting out of my ears and nostrils. Turns out that no, the account was still frozen and he could do nothing to help. I demanded to talk to a manager. After waiting another 15 minutes for the manager to come out, she talks to me and gives me a sticky note with the phone number to call. She said that the analyst will be available at 2 p.m. for me to discuss my account, and they should be able to tell me why it was frozen and how I can unfreeze it to get my funds. I reluctantly took the sticky note and left to wait at my house to make the phone call. At 2 o'clock, I called the number I was given. Dang, hold on, I gotta drink some. I've been reading a whole lot. Alright. At 2 o'clock, I called the number I was given only to get a recorded message saying that they were closed for the day. Yeah, remember that Eastern time. If you're on the West Coast, 2 o'clock, that's 5 o'clock. I could not believe the incompetency. I rushed right back down to my Bank of America branch and went up to the same manager, telling her that they were closed already at the time she had me call. And this being to seem like a very bad joke. She took the sticky note from me and proceeded to call the number herself, only to find out exactly what I did, that they were closed. She said that it must be new office hours. No, it wasn't. It's East Coast time. It must be new office hours that she did not know about. I waited for another 30 minutes while she made phone calls, and ultimately she came back to me telling me that, yet again, they would unfreeze my account the next day and to come back. At this point, I still have no reason why my account was frozen in the first place. I tried very hard to comply with their request, short of giving them 8 pages of unnecessary information. No wonder why people go into a bank with a gun. This is unbelievable. most of which I couldn't even give because 95% of it didn't apply to my business, only to be told multiple times that Bank of America made a business decision to freeze your account, and that is it. They have ultimate control, guys. We just made a business decision. We don't want to give you your money. The last straw. I came back first thing in the morning the next day, my 5th trip there in 2 weeks, and headed straight to the manager. Sure enough, my account was finally unfrozen. I instructed them to cash me out and close my account. I realized after the fact that I didn't even recall one apology for all the inconvenience. All totaled, I spent well over 10 hours across 3 weeks trying to resolve this issue, only to be roadblocked, ignored, lied to again, and placated with a pass-the-buck mentality as I tried to get a solid answer from over half a dozen individuals from Bank of America. All of this because I sent a small amount of funds from my business bank account to Coinbase. All of this because they made a policy change to business banking accounts to include cryptocurrency as an MSB without notifying customers. They used this to try to strong-arm me into admitting I was purchasing cryptocurrency so they could somehow classify it as an MSB. I was utterly disgusted by the way I was treated and the lack of accountability, professionalism, and adherence to U.S. law. So here's the lessons learned. 1. Only trust a bank as far as you could throw them. I agree. Number 2. Financial laws mean absolutely nothing to a large bank like Bank of America. I agree. Number 3. Don't purchase Bitcoin or cryptocurrency with a Bank of America account, business or personal. I agree. Number 4. Always have a phone recorder app active when you make important calls regarding money. Oh, I never thought of that. Okay, I'll take note on that one. Number 5. It takes 5 bankers to unscrew a frozen account. So there's a good joke in there somewhere. Number 6. Lacey from the Compliance Processing and Monitoring Department will never call you back, no matter how many voicemails you leave her. So I have now moved all my business banking to Farmers and Merchants Bank, and I'm very happy so far. I decided to do all my crypto purchases from my local credit union account instead. If you have a Bank of America account, I highly advise you to look elsewhere if you are interested in cryptocurrencies. Bank of America is not cryptocurrency friendly, it seems. This is very true tale is yet another reason added to the plethora of reasons why institutionalized banking needs to be on its way out. Let the nightmare we went through be a lesson to all. Well, that's the Bank of America news. Be careful when you're doing your banking, how you do your banking. And if something happens to your account, let us know. We got to document this stuff and see what's going on. So this was a very long crypto talk this morning. I hope you guys learned some new information. I know I did. We'll see how the news breaks today on how crypto talk was going to be tonight. But I am doing a presentation tonight. As I state all the time, I do not buy Bitcoin. I earn Bitcoin. So if you want to learn how I'm able to work from home, make more money in a month and a half than most people make in a year, how to earn Bitcoin, live completely off the grid, then shoot me a private message and I'll give you a link to my presentation tonight. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Earn Bitcoin. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Bitcoin Brandon out. Have a great day. Bye-bye.